to a time of holy human stuff. My name is Heather Murray Elkins, and today we're going to spend our time in the company of turtles. And these companions will help us explore cosmology and politics and ultimately theology with a little bit of biology thrown in. To begin with, I want to introduce you to my companions. This is a substantial presence. This is a turtle carved from mesquite wood from the deserts of Arizona, and it is carved by a Yaqui Native American. And this turtle, smaller, with a very important function. This is part of the world of Lani Lenape, both here and in other places in the United States, which was, of course, originally called Turtle Island. And in their work of binding together water and earth and all creatures and the human community, these turtle shells are gathered and then turned into the means of celebrating so the community can dance in remembrance that we are creatures all. And then lastly, this, a stole from a choir that understood itself to be in this tradition, the turtles, great beaded turtles, and decorated also with reminders of the Trinity, 3 fish, gifts from the island, those who are indigenous and yet use the gifts they have been given to honor the Christ, the firstborn for them of creation. But having introduced you to my companions, I want to go back and begin a story. It's a story that you may have heard before. And it begins this way. It's a turtle tale about the temptation of tyranny. On the faraway island of Salma Sand, Yertle, the turtle, was king of the pond. A nice little pond. It was clean, it was neat, the water was warm, there was plenty to eat. The turtles had everything turtles might need, and they were all happy, quite happy indeed. They were, until Yertle, the king of them all, decided the kingdom he ruled was too small. And you see how the story begins. And all through the morning he sat up there high, saying over and over, "A great king am I," until long about noon. And then he heard a faint sigh. Now how had he gotten higher? He had ordered every turtle in sight to climb on top of each other so that he could be on top of all and have a better view. And in the midst of this viewing comes the sound of a plain little turtle named Mac, who's at the bottom of the stack. And he dares to say to the king, "This hurts. How long will you need to be there?" And he orders him, "Silence!" The king of the turtles barked back, "I'm king, and you're only a turtle named Mac." And what happened? Oh, it got worse. The tyranny grew. More and more and more turtles were ordered to climb on top of each other. And all of them stepped on the head of poor Mac. One after another, they climbed up the stack. Then Yertle the turtle was perched up so high he could see 40 miles from his throne in the sky. "Hooray!" shouted Yertle. I'm king of the trees. I'm king of the birds. I'm king of the bees. I'm king of the butterflies. King of the air. Ah me, what a throne. What a wonderful chair. I'm Yertle, the turtle. Oh, marvelous me, for I am ruler of all that I see. And then again, from below the great heavy stack came a groan from that plain little turtle named Mac. Your Majesty, please. I don't like to complain, but down here below we are feeling great pain. I know, up on top you're seeing great sights, but down here at the bottom we too should have rights. We turtles can't stand it. Our shells will all crack. Besides, we need food. We are starving, groaned Mac. You hush your mouth, howled the mighty King Yertle. You've no right to talk to the world's highest turtle. I rule from the clouds, over land, over sea. There is nothing, no nothing, that is higher than me. So, Dr. Seuss knew something about politics. And that might be a children's story you want to get out and read to grown-ups. But how do we get from politics to cosmology? We need more stories. And this story comes from the Ojibwa Nation tribe. And in the Ojibwa story of the beginning, the turtle is known as the earth diver. For the Supreme Being sends the turtle down into the primal waters to find bits of mud with which to build the earth. And creation emerges from the watery deep, and these beings and these potential forms linger asleep or suspended on the primordial rim. And it is the earth diver who is among the first of them to awaken and to lay the groundwork where the coming creation will be able to live. That's a story of beginnings and origins that has also a great deal of biology in it when we think of how we emerged from the waters. But I'm wondering if we could use our sanctified imaginations, which you need to be able to handle holy human stuff, and deepen this understanding. Might we be able to dive deep and surface with a little bit of earthy creation? And is there a possibility where a creature, human, animal, understanding of who God is in Christ is made into a form that we recognize? I want to then tell you a third story, and it has to do with what is seen as rational and theological and reasonable, which in some ways looks at things like turtles and questions their relevance to the world of thought. And the story is found in several places. My favorite location is in Stephen Hawking's Brief History of Time, where he records a story that is attributed to Bertrand Russell. And Bertrand Russell is giving a lecture on astronomy. and he's describing how the Earth orbits around the sun, and how the sun in turn orbits around the center of a vast collection of stars called galaxies. And at the end of this lecture that he is giving, a little old lady at the back of the room gets up and says, "What you have told us, sir, is rubbish. The world is really a flat plate supported on the back of a giant turtle." So the scientist decides to be kind and kind of gives a superior smile before saying, "And what is the turtle standing on?" "Oh," she says, "you're a very clever young man, very clever." "Another turtle." And he says, "And madam, what is that turtle standing on?" "Oh," she says, "you can't fool me. It's turtles all the way down." So, in this story of a very out of order old woman and a very honored scientist, we have a stack of turtles. And it's clear we need the best scientists to be able to help us shape our understanding of faith. We need to know all we can gain by peering in to both the heavens and the depths, to be able to understand the marvels of creation and not twist them into ideologies. But I want to just offer or invite the possibility, with a sanctified imagination, that you might put all those stories together and ask yourself this: if the turtle is the earth diver and the first to awaken in that one story, is not Christ the firstborn of creation? Is not Christ our earth diver? Did not the Holy Human One dive into the waters of chaos for the sake of creation? Did the Word not become flesh and dwell among us, the two-legged creatures? Have we forgotten that Jesus was formed in the water of Mary's womb? Did God's beloved not wade into the chilly Jordan for the sake of all that God loved? Did he not dive down into the toxic waters of death for the sake of our lives? I invite you to consider what incarnation might be, seen in and through the life of turtles, earth diving. Emmanuel is with us.